Welcome to another edition of AI and Finance Demo Edition. And I actually just got inspired by another video I recorded where I used Claude to help me look at another application. And I was actually doing another demo on a different AI application. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just try this in Claude? And so I don't know how this is going to work. I have no clue if this is going to work, but I think that this is like a potential scenario to just give you some ideas of how to use some of the tools that you may already be using. Claude is just a general LLM, just like OpenAI or like ChatGPT or Gemini. And I want to just try something. They just came out with a new model, their Opus 4.7. It's a much more sophisticated thinking model that can create and code much more effectively. And what I wanted to do with this other application, but I didn't think I could do it, I couldn't really understand how it works. So I just wanted to bring it over to Claude, is I have this like PowerPoint deck. This is from back in like December of 24 or something like that, or 23, I don't know. And I just wanted to take it and I want to see if Claude can turn this, because this is like a presentation. Like I'm thinking of the scenario of like, I don't have enough time to record a video on this, but I want to create something that's interactive for the families to help them understand what this all means using only the data from here. So can we create like an interactive, situation, whether it's an interactive presentation or an interactive dashboard that gives them this information, allows them to learn and understand it in their own way using the data from here. So that's what I want to try. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try this. We're going to use voice mode, and I'm going to tell Claude what I want to do. Allow while visiting the site. So what I want you to do is help me take the attached PDF, which is of a presentation that our team has put together. And I want you to create this into an interactive dashboard that clients of my wealth management firm can utilize and help to understand the data as if they watched the presentation. I don't have the time to create a presentation for each of my clients or my entire client base going through this and talking through this. And so I wanted to see if I could give you the PDF of the dashboard. I want you to use only the information within here to create something that allows for clients to understand the data, answer questions on the data, and that they're able to interact with it to as if they get the same value as if I were to provide them a webinar on this particular presentation. Now remember, my clients aren't as sophisticated as the information is here because this is done by a sophisticated research department within a wealth management firm. And my clients are more everyday Americans that may not have a complete, understanding of the jargon or the specific information or the terminology that is used. So please keep that in mind as you build this. So I don't know where it went. Hello? Well, that's an interesting learning example there. So why don't we give me a second? We're going to do this a different way. So I want you to create me an interactive experience, whether it's a dashboard or an interactive presentation that my clients of my wealth management firm can utilize with this uploaded document I'm providing you. I'm providing you an uploaded document of a PDF that is a presentation that my wealth management research team had put together. I don't have time to put together a video to talk through all the aspects of this presentation, but I want to provide my clients something that they can go through at their own pace based on their own knowledge and gain the understanding of what we are presenting and providing to them within this presentation. And you can utilize any of the graphs or the information from this presentation. I only want you to use information from this presentation, but I want you to create something that clients of my wealth management firm can go through and get the knowledge and insight and have the understanding as if I were to present them a whole Zoominar or webinar on this specific deck. This is a PDF, and again, remember, the clients of my wealth management firm, they don't have the same sophistication of the team that put this together. And this was an internal presentation to advisors. And so we have to remember that as we're talking about the terminology and the jargon and the assumptions that they have a lower sophistication because this is not what they do on an everyday basis. And so what we want to do is build a experience that's interactive, that they can gain the insights on their own way and understand it in their own version for this specific deck that I am attaching here. So what you saw is that the first one that I tried was I tried to use the voice mode within Claude. It didn't work well. And so what I use is I actually have something on my computer called Whisper Flow, WISPR Flow. And it actually does a much better job of dictating. And so you can put the cursor in there, you can just talk, and then it pastes it in there, which is really nice. So that was the difference. That's a good learning example there. So now I'm going to upload the December investment committee there, the PDF, and I'm going to now see what it works. So we're going to use the Opus 4.7, again, the newest model here, and we're going to let it work. It's going to take a little bit of time. We'll watch it talk here, but then as it starts building, then I'm going to take a pause, and then we'll come back with what they create. So client face, this investment committee deck, let me first review the skills available and then plan the build. And so it's going to go through this experience. So we're going to let this, they have a clear picture. Let me design this, given that this is a wealth management firm based on like branding for less sophisticated clients, self-paced, interactive, replaces webinar, aesthetic, present direction, redefined editorial, private banking. Let me build this as a single file HTML artifact. Let's see what it creates, and we'll come back when it's created. All right, we're back. Let's see what it created. So I just downloaded it because you can, an HTML file, you can save and then you can open it in a browser. So it's browser based. So I want to make it a little bit bigger and I can upload it here. So it says, walk through what our research team is watching, begin the briefing. Rate cuts in 2024, self-paced, prepared by CIS. So let's begin the briefing. And it kind of takes me through. Let's see what happens if I click on it. Nothing happens if I click on it. Hover over any underlined term like this. Any term with the dashed underline has a plain English explanation. Headline CPI. The full inflation number, how much prices rose over the past year. Well, that's interesting right there. Target rate, interest rates. So again, here we go. It's going through there. I can go through part 2, cuts expected, implied rate. Market is well out in front of the Fed. Shows how many cuts the market expects. Okay, so we've got an interactive chart. A fair warning, these projections have a history of being wrong. What the market predicted, what actually happened. Every single prediction underscores reality. So we've got some charts in there. Oh, we got some functionality there. Our research team view. Okay. We've seen this movie before. So part 5, the market, the stock market, the dovish boost. Price matters. Here's valuation. How expensive is the stock relative to what it earns? The most common measure is PE ratio. Price divided by earnings per share. Lower PE equals cheaper. That's very nice. Hovers over. Closer look at your portfolio. This is closed-end funds. It expands. What is a closed-end fund? What makes them unique? Here's how discounts work. Now imagine the underlying assets. What's your closed-end fleet right now? Okay, that was a trade we're considering. 4 things to remember. I mean, I don't know. I have to say, like, this is something that I would send to families. Like, you think about, our teams are creating so much research. If we then can then apply it in a way like this to then send to families, like, this is something that's, I think, more valuable, more impactful than a newsletter. We could take that presentation and turn it into a newsletter. We could take the transcript of the investment team talking through it and turn it into a newsletter. Turning it into something like this, I think, is like, to me, is game changing. Like, that's the difference. This is like how you build experience. And all I did was literally one prompt, me talking through it with the PDF, and it created this. Now, is it perfect? I mean, I think we can make some tweaks. I think it's really good. I think if I were to go through and check all the data, which I could have a team member of mine do, like someone on the investment team potentially, or I could have an associate advisor check all the data to make sure it aligns and all of the information aligns with what that deck has. But if it does, then I think that this is good. And it took me literally 2 minutes. Talk through it, put the PDF in there. I had the idea and I created it, and then I can have someone send it out. And I can send this to all my families as something that's interactive. I think that that's what's really impactful, because what I was hoping for was this from another application. Again, this is yet another example from Claude of how we can use it in different ways beyond just talking to it as an LLM. It can create us things that we can then use. And if you don't know how to use it, like a .html file or whatever, then have a conversation with Claude to figure that out. And this is all branded the way that we are branded. And I think it just turned out, I'm just really impressed. I mean, and Claude continues to impress me. And this is something that I would share. This is something that I think is really valuable. And so I think that this is, what I think is possible with AI. So there we go. Another edition of AI in Finance demo edition. And this time I was going to use another application. I didn't know where this was going to go. And it's one just looking at a tool that you're likely using or maybe not be using, but it's easy to use, which is Claude. So go check it out. Have a great day.